What if I told you that this draft class is so deep that a 6'9" wing that shot 40% from 3 and has a 7'5" wingspan with shades of Kawhi Leonard might not even be a lottery pick? And I'm not saying current day Kawhi, think young Kawhi, when he's locking up LeBron in the finals. And this is what Rasheer Fleming looks like. The measurables are very similar. The three-point shooting, I'd even say Fleming is better than Kawhi coming out because they had to completely transform his jump shot. Now, it does have a little bit of a hitch, and we'll talk about that. But Rasheer Fleming is a stud. And I don't feel like this is your annual lazy, oh, he's Kawhi because he's got a defense comparison. He's 6'9" with a 7'5" wingspan. Kawhi, coming out of San Diego State, was 6'7" with a 7'3" wingspan. So, right off rip, he's got better intangibles. He averaged almost 15 points, 8.5 rebounds this year at St. Joe's. And yes, he's not playing the greatest competition in the world, but he still shot 53% from the field and 39% from 3 on almost 5 attempts per game. That is very, very promising. And where I really see Kawhi at, obviously, is the defensive side of the ball. He's got work to do on offense to be Kawhi. But right here, picking him up full court and picking his pocket using that 7'3" wingspan. Or Rasheer Fleming one-ups him. He says, I got a 7'5" wingspan and I can do the same exact thing. Ripping Steph Curry right here. Now, I know this isn't one of the greatest ball handlers in NBA history, but still, that's a solid center. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but he's a dog for Charleston. And then coming across the lane, getting the rejection, Fleming does the same thing right here, and they're going the other way. He is elite defensively. He can protect the rim just like Kawhi did, or he can guard you on the perimeter just like Kawhi does. And yes, he's got work to do offensively like we said, but you can't tell me you don't see the similarities. Getting out in the passing lanes, getting steals, and converting it to easy offense. And American made the tournament this year, by the way. And then the chase down blocks. That is something that Rasheer Fleming is a specialist at. Yes, he gets beat, but he's able to recover and go back and get it, which is obviously a fantastic luxury to have. Now, he's a top-tier athlete. He is not as elite as like a world-class athlete, but he's still really bouncy for a guy that is 6'9". In no world is he as elite as the Thompson twins, but those are aliens, so you can't even really compare it fairly. He can go up top and get it, definitely can finish above the rim. He's got a 34-inch vert, and you might seem like, well, that's a little bit unimpressive, but he's 240 pounds. He is a freak being able to get up and elevate this quickly. His second jump may be the fastest in this year's draft class, and I'll explain that in a little bit. He can play the pick and roll as the roll man, like right here, where he sets the screen and dives right to the rim and then posterize whoever is waiting on him. He can play it as the ball handler coming off of the screen, or he can play the short roll like right here where he catches it, surveys, and then decides to go up and get the easy lay-in. And then right here, a great cut backdoor. He sees his guy, goes over to help, so instead of standing in the corner, he cuts right behind him and goes up and gets the highlight play right in front of the student section, and then the cut downhill. This is where a little bit of the unathleticism shows, the only 34-inch max vert, but still, he's a ridiculous athlete. He's not world class like I said, but he is still extremely athletic. Now, he's a fantastic downhill driver. Loves to use the Euro step and the shoulder bump to get to his spot. There's a double jab and finishing with the right. That's advanced stuff right there. That's Paulo Banchero bag right there. Carmelo Anthony, same thing. Getting downhill, finishing with the right there, and then gets shut off, pivots, and finds the open man. That's a really advanced play for a wing that isn't really known as a ball handler. He gets by his man, attracts the second defender, and then sees his guy cutting right behind him for the easy dunk and getting the assist. Didn't average many assists this year, but he's showing he can make those plays. Getting it out of the pick and pop here, and then getting downhill using the Euro step. Once again, I love it when he can create off of the catch. Rip and go right here into the Euro step and finishing over JT Toppin. That's the Big 12 player of the year, by the way, right there. And then getting downhill on Eric Dixon, one of the best players in the Big East. So he's playing good competition. Don't get it twisted that he's playing at St. Joe's, he's playing a bunch of nobodies. He is playing solid competition. And then here he is, the three ball. This is what everybody's here for, right? A 6'9" wing with a 7'5" wingspan that can shoot the three. 4.5 attempts per game this year, so it's not like it was low volume. And 39%. That's pretty legit. A lot of these are catch and shoots, so maybe, you're not really getting a whole lot of off the dribble stuff, but off the move right here, sliding to his right, catching and shooting, he does have a little bit of a hitch. He shoots it across his body, which could be an issue at the next level, but if it ain't broke right now, don't fix it. 39% on 4.5 attempts. Any NBA team will take that with a guy that can go out and guard the other team's best player for 30 minutes a game. And then this one right here, this is about as good of a contest as you can get, and he's still going to knock it down and maybe even have gotten fouled. Hitting the three as the trailer, that's a big three on the break, and then coming off the screen, a little cross screen, and he's going to step right into it and knock it down. That's big right there because he's got the defender chasing, so normally you would attack this closeout. Instead, he's just going to stop and pop, and he's going to knock it down, and that's really nice to see. That's really promising. Now, yes, I don't like the cock back, as you see right there. It's not great, but if it goes in, it goes in. If it works, it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And again, he starts his jumper from his knee and then cocks it back over his left shoulder. It's definitely unorthodox. But if it goes in at 39% on 4.5 attempts, that's my only concern with his jumper is the unorthodox path that it takes. But hey, you're seeing right now, it goes in a lot. Now, in the half court, the other way he scores, he gets down low, right? If he's not driving, he's going to somehow finish around the rim. He hasn't really developed much of a mid-range game. This time he's coming off the screen and he attacks the closeout like we just talked about, coming off a little cross screen, and then just blows right by and gets to the rim using that big frame to get down low and create space, just like right here. Little shoulder bump, pivot. He uses that elite strength to get to his spots, and that's an and one right there. Easy money. Now, this is what everybody came for, right? The clamps. This is where you see the most of that young Kawhi in him. He is an absolute disruptor on the defensive side of the ball. He's what they call a defensive playmaker. You got to have playmakers on both sides of the ball. People think you only have to have playmakers on offense. You got to have playmakers on defense too, and that's what Rasheer Fleming is. That's what the Thompson twins are. That's what he really brings to this team. He uses that 6'9" frame with that 7'5" wingspan to really get out in passing lanes, really disrupt shots, and that's what has NBA scouts drooling. Is this guy? Look at the recovery on that. He completely bites on the pump fake and is able to recover extremely quickly. And then the drop coverage, being able to play drop coverage off a screen, and this guy on offense is cooked once he gets right there. That time he gets his pocket picked. This time he's not going to be as nice. He's going to humiliate him on the floater and just swat it and then get out and run in transition. He should have taken the midi, because if you get this deep, then Rasheer Fleming's probably going to come out with it, and we're going the other way. 1.5 blocks per game for a reason, and then just clamps, right? On-ball defense, that's what you really love about this guy. His ability to guard 1 through 5 with such a big frame. But his rim protection is such a key as well, because he can get blown by and still recover. That's a bad closeout, but he's able to recover and force a wedgie. 1.5 blocks in 31 minutes per game this year. That's a pretty solid number for a 4-man. Last year, he had 1.5 blocks in just 26 minutes a game. So showing how elite he is at protecting that rim, going up and getting it and erasing shots, stealing possessions for his team. Now, looking at the on-ball defense, we talked about it earlier. He can probably guard 1 through 5 at the NBA level because he's 6'9", but he's also 240. So he can bang in the post if he needs to, and then can get out on the perimeter and lock down as well, like right here, guarding a 5'10" guard. The recovery, like we talked about, and then also the pickpocketing. Like, this is vintage Kawhi defensively. Pickpockets, using that long wingspan and that frame to be able to chest defenders up and also recover. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This is the last clip I'll show you. It looks like he is completely beat right here as he gets up in the air on a pump fake. Look how quick that second jump is, and he sends it into the first row. Rasheer Fleming, he's got me sold. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. We're looking for 300 likes on today's video. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching.